insurance leaders in my mind do three things. They're consistent, they have values and they're fair and they lead by those values, and they have a vision and a plan that they're working on executing, getting everybody on board. It's not a here you go, take it or leave it scenario. And leadership is something that is often not taught. It's an experience. I kind of equate it to if you've ever been around a strong leader, you have to experience them, kind of like being in love or having your heart broken. You can describe it, but until you're in it, it's hard to explain. And that's the same thing with leadership. So I think in so many insurance agencies we see they've never seen good leadership. Maybe you've only seen things one way, you've only worked with your family business, and there's so many other options that are so important and critical when we're thinking about leadership. So when you think about being a good leader, I think that you have to be available for questions. I think you have to have a clear vision and strategy that you stick to. You have to be consistent. You have to be impeccable with your word. You also have to make sure that at the end of the day, that you have everybody's best interest at mind. So you have to be fair. And I think a lot of agencies struggle with being fair because being fair means somebody wins and somebody loses sometimes, or being fair is hurting somebody else's feelings. But fairness is the key. And if you truly operate your agency from your principles and your values, you'll know that you're making the consistent decisions many times. I also think being a good leader is having a plan. And so many agency owners I see sort of have a half-baked plan that doesn't really work, or they just kind of tell people this is what we're going to do. And I feel like we're missing the mark so much on that, where as opposed to getting into the troops and let's just say making renewal review calls with your team, it's telling them that, oh, let's go do that. That's their job. And that's not leadership. Now, I'm not saying that you make all the renewal calls, but you got to dive in. You got to do things that, that other people won't do, for lack of a better word. And I want everybody to be very clear and consistent in their abilities to lead a team. Now, one of the hardest parts about insurance agencies is for many agency owners, that's not their only responsibility. And for many times, people are hard, people are messy. So, as opposed to spending the time necessary to lead the team, we spend the time selling policies or networking or doing other things outside of the agency. Now, some of those things are really valuable because you can learn and bring steps back, but if you can't execute them, none of it matters. So good insurance leaders in my mind do three things. They're consistent, they have values and they're fair and they lead by those values, and they have a vision and a plan that they're working on executing, getting everybody on board. It's not a here you go, take it or leave it scenario. And that is how you become a good insurance leader.